And hello, everybody, and welcome to Synergy Theater Online. My name is Ken Adams. I'm the artistic director of Synergy Theater, and it is absolutely marvelous to see you here again. Synergy Theater performs full-length improvised plays in a variety of styles and genres. When we're out in the real world, we perform at the beautiful Leisure Center for the Performing Arts in Walnut Creek, California. But we are not out in the real world right now, are we? And as long as we're all stuck inside together, Synergy Theater is proud and delighted to bring you our full-length improvised plays right into the comfort and safety of your own home through the magic of Zoom, YouTube, and Facebook. Since we are coming to you through YouTube, if you would like to interact with us tonight and offer us suggestions, then you need to log into your YouTube account. So go ahead and do that now. Log into your YouTube account and you'll see that chat feature. Go ahead and say hello to us on chat. And when we ask you for suggestions in just a few moments, that's how you'll be able to interact with us. If you're watching us on Facebook, you could go ahead and interact with us on Facebook as well, because I have the ability to see any comments that you might put there as well. So YouTube or Facebook, but if you want YouTube, then you have to go ahead and log into your YouTube account. Tonight, our show is Couples Therapy, an improvised counseling session. This has been a fantastic run of this show for us, and tonight is the final show, final performance of this show for our current season. So it's very exciting that you're here to share it with us. What the show is about is a couple who have decided to go to couples therapy. But of course, during COVID times, they can't do that in person. And so they are meeting with their therapist online. All of our shows are completely improvised, made up on the spot, and inspired by suggestions from you, our audience. And that means we are going to need your suggestions, and we're going to be asking for them right now. So the first suggestion that we would like you to type into your YouTube chat screen or your Facebook chat screen for us is a location, some type of location that will somehow feature prominently in the lives of the characters that you meet tonight. So go ahead, let them pop off the top of your mind and pop onto your YouTube or your Facebook chat and type in a location. As you are doing that, I'll plant the seed and allow you to start thinking of our next suggestion that we'll need for you. The next suggestion is an object. But right now, I see a bunch of locations popping up on our screen. So thank you. And I'm going to grab a suggestion that I see coming in from Evelyn. And her suggestion is the Golden Gate Bridge. What a wonderful suggestion. Thank you, Evelyn. I don't think we have ever had the Golden Gate Bridge as a suggestion in any of our shows, either our live shows or this online series of shows. So that's excellent. The Golden Gate Bridge. The next suggestion, as I said, is an object, any object at all. And again, this will somehow feature prominently into our show tonight. So I'm looking over at our Facebook screen here, and I'll tell you what, the Facebook screen, we're getting a suggestion for a tattoo place. But since we're looking for an object now, with your permission, Elizabeth, thank you for your suggestion, but I'm going to change it slightly and make it a tattoo needle. So we'll take the essence of Elizabeth's suggestion, but we'll just turn it into an object for us. And the object is a tattoo needle. All right, now the next suggestion that we need is a big one. So take a moment and then pop it in there. And that is, what is something that one of our characters said to the other or did to the other that caused a problem in their relationship? What is something that one of the characters said to the other or did to the other that has caused a problem in their relationship? Please go ahead and type that into either your Facebook stream or your YouTube chat, and we will grab that suggestion from you. In the meantime, as you're putting those suggestions up there. Let me take a moment to point out that Synergy Theater performs every weekend, every Thursday at 6 o'clock p.m. and Friday at 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. So please come back. We're here each week, and we will be for as long as we're all at home together. All right, I see some suggestions, and let's take this one. Let's take from Joe Bill. Joe Bill is in our audience tonight, and let's take his suggestion. The line of dialogue that one character said to another that caused a problem in their relationship is, "Your anxiety is giving me anxiety. Your anxiety is giving me anxiety." All right, let me just remind you of our 3 suggestions, and then I'm going to get out of your way and let our talented cast take over with the show. The location is the Golden Gate Bridge. The object is a tattoo needle. And something one character said to another that has caused a problem in their relationship is, "Your anxiety is giving me anxiety." Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. I'm going to wait on screen until our first character pops on to kick it off for you. Please sit back and enjoy Couples Therapy.
Welcome to my Zoom fist. I'm Dr. Stein, Dr. Frankenstein. Welcome. I just want to say congratulations on taking the first steps to repairing this relationship.
Thank you, Dr. Stein. On behalf of myself and my partner, Jane.
Yes, that's a thank you. Yes.
You're welcome. I'm so excited to get started with you guys, and let's just start off by recognizing that this isn't the most ideal of situations, is it? We're in a global pandemic. I'm sure that's probably what caused some of this, but that's why we're on the Zoom.
Right.
Okay. So I like to start off with all of my couples. Let's find out how you two met. I want to know the backstory of your relationship. Let's take it to episode 1, when you met.
Mm-hmm. Well, episode 1, coffee shop. Correct, Phil? That's correct.
Yeah, it was a bodega of sorts, I would call it. Jane was a barista. And I would go there every day because I had an idea for a phone application. This was back in like 2007. Like the iPhone had just come out, and I had this cool idea. Anyway, I was there every day buying cappuccinos.
Yes, and he didn't know I was doing research at the time on human behavior, and I was just struck by him. Not only was he so technically proficient, but he really had a precision that, well, it just grabbed me at my core. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I understand that. He does seem quite the specimen.
I wish you wouldn't call him a specimen. Please don't do that.
No, Jane, it's fine. I'm a specimen.
Sorry. See, I like to think about my office as more like a laboratory, if you will. You see,
oh my gosh, a laboratory. Okay, go ahead.
You see, I think of myself, I think of the relationships as like a science. What I do is I take the dead relationships and I take the working parts of those relationships and I patch them together so we get one living relationship. Okay.
Okay.
I want to hear about the broken parts of your relationship now.
Well, as Phil knows, and you should know too, because I need to I'm sending you this by email right now. I need a confidentiality agreement. All right, because my employer, my present employer, I don't think you've had any contact with my present employer, have you? You're saying a lot of trigger words for me. Laboratory, living, dead.
Oh, no, I don't know who your employer is. I
All
don't
right.
do research on my
Okay,
client.
would you please sign that and return it?
I mean, Dr. Stein, it's okay. Like, I don't even get to know what she's doing at work. Like, she's been there for years. Every day she comes home, honey, how was your day? I can't talk about that.
Right, I can't, and I have to do a lot of work at night as well. And that's part of the problem.
Well, we all have our secrets. We all have our monsters, if you will.
Oh.
I have my monster. And I'd like to hear, it sounds to me like what Jane's monster is her late nights working for her job. Phil, to be honest, you seem like such a perfect creation. And
Oh,
I
God.
don't see any monsters with you yet, but maybe I will find a monster in you.
Well,
Let's hear it.
I'm glad you called me a creation because,
Oh,
well,
Jane, if you would allow Phil to just speak for a moment, thank you.
I feel like one of God's creations, and I'm so blessed to be here every day. And frankly, where this all started was, I believe our good Lord is the only one who should be able to, create life, not a genetics lab.
Oh, so I'm hearing there's tension in her work and you not agreeing with what she does. Does that sound right?
Jane, I really want you to prosper in this line of work, but really some of the things you're doing just are unethical to my core values.
Phil, I'm going to have to disagree with you there. I think, personally, I believe that some people are born to create, to make things, and sometimes that does involve taking dead cells and giving them life. Jane, you seem to be going through quite an emotional response already. And we've only just begun. Let's hear it.
I'll just say, your anxiety is giving me anxiety. Your anxiety about death and creating life and the perfect specimen that Phil is. Can we just talk about, I don't know.
Let's go to something positive.
He leaves the toilet seat up, something like that. Can we just talk about that?
What we're going to do now is an exercise I like to do with all of my patients, all of my creations. So we're going to go back to the day that you met, okay? And
okay,
what we're going to do is something I like to call role play. You see, I think of myself as somewhat of a puppet master. I can make things move around. So, Phil, I want you to go to the moment where you met Jane, except you're Jane in this situation. And Jane, I want you to be Phil and recreate the magic, the magic of falling in love, because I want to find what had that spark to begin with. Okay, let's go. Let's hear it.
Okay.
Phil, here's your cappuccino.
Look at that. You made a DNA helix in it for me. I don't know. It's just like you're perfect.
Phil.
I'm sorry, a scientist should never say that. There's no such thing as perfection.
Can I say that, you come in here every day and I've been watching you. I'm just so interested what you're working on. It's like a phone app. That sounds so smart.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I was using my feminine voice. Let me use my gruffer voice.
Yes, that would help.
Sorry.
Oh, we're supposed to use voices? Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Yes, I'm working on a recent app that has to do with ribosomes and the way that they attach to the VLEX.
Oh my gosh, are you serious? Because I am getting my doctorate in genetic studies. Um, that's so interesting.
Hey, I'd love to go on a walk in the park with you sometime. I know you work an awful lot, but could we just take your next break down at Jefferson Street Park?
I suppose we can. I get off in 10 minutes and yeah, sure. Let me just go tidy up.
Okay, well, that was beautiful. I had tears in my eyes.
No, really, it's hard to well, let me just say
It's hard to take your brain and put it in another person's body. Is that correct? Is that what you're trying to say? I find that difficult at times too. But
I don't find it difficult. I don't find that difficult. Unfortunately, I don't find that difficult. I have to tell you, that's exactly what I do. And that's what happened when Phil died. I couldn't take it. He told me he had terminal brain cancer, and we made a plan. And I'm sorry, Phil. I didn't want to tell you this way.
Tell me what?
You're my creation. You're a clone from Phil 1.
What? What?
And I haven't been honest at work about it.
Let me
Because
just tell you, this is the most romantic thing I've ever heard. Keep going.
Jane, what are you talking?
I know, Phil.
Right.
I know. I was hoping if I told you in front of a therapist that the therapist could help you through this, because I don't know how to help you through this.
I died. I'm not even real, am I?
You are real, Phil.
No.
I'm the best
The
clone
real Phil.
geneticist there is. That's why I work so much, Phil. I have to be up at night to be in contact across the world with different products that are being manufactured to create creatures like you.
Oh.
Except you're different. I made you able to love, and I wasn't supposed to. And now,
Jane, if you will, I would like to hear how Phil is processing this news. This joyous, wonderful news. Let's hear.
please take control of this, please.
I'm very confused. Okay.
Phil, let's go into your psyche, into that brain that came from someone else.
Okay.
Close your eyes, Phil. Try to remember the moment of your death.
No.
What is it like?
You can't start there. Wait, no, Frankenstein. No, go back to the puppy. Go back to Floppy.
Well, okay. I'm just gonna switch my memories.
Yes. You have to start with something where love begins.
All right. Well, it was 2 years ago, and I was very anxious about my diagnosis, and you were away at work a lot, and I was alone at home working on my apps, and I was prescribed a dog, a partner who could keep me company, and her name was Penelope, and she was a Cocker Spaniel. And she would sit on the couch with me, and I would pet her.
Yeah, he knew I didn't allow the dogs on the couch, but when they were at home together, they did that. And that was the beginning.
Phil, now it's time to go back to your death.
Oh, God.
Well,
Jane, let him go through this. He needs it.
All right, if you say so.
I was walking Penelope, and we went on long walks, and we just wound up on the Golden Gate Bridge.
Beautiful.
And I knew I was in a lot of pain, you understand, with all the medicines I was on, and my brain was just falling out of my head, and there's tourists all around. It was so much activity. And I just collapsed there in the middle. And
I was watching out the window, and I saw him collapse.
The
And
car
so-
window, because it was on the Golden Gate Bridge.
Well, yes, the car
So-
window.
Jane,
I-
are you saying that you were there and you
What?
allowed him to die?
I didn't allow him to die. This was something that couldn't be interrupted, this moment of collapse, so that he could easily be transferred to the laboratory for sedation and for the transformation into Phil too. And you have to understand that Phil 1 and I, we had our differences. But
Phil, can you recall Phil 1's memories about those differences?
okay. Well, first of all, I think Jane might have been a little jealous that I worked on both genetic-based apps and I was a preacher. While, she was in the lab all night, I was connecting on another level that she could not understand.
And you don't understand that for me, I was making plenty of money. He didn't need to work. He didn't need to do all of that. And I don't have very much time to devote to a relationship. So, I wanted him there when I was available.
Well, but I am not an object, okay? I have my own life. I'm not there to just exist while you go off at work and come back to. I want to have my own life.
Now, Phil, do you feel like in some ways your life was taken from you?
I died. So yes.
And so you're upset about that, I feel.
Yes.
Do you
Yes.
feel, and then you're starting to overcome these feelings. Do you feel like maybe you've been in a sort of sedentary state for the past couple of months? See, Phil, I think that there is a monster inside of you. I just think that Jane has cleverly worked her way around not allowing that monster to come out, but I like to unleash the monster within. Let's
are
hear
you
those
saying-
feelings.
Are you saying I'm a demon?
No,
Am I possessed, Jane?
No, Phil, Phil, don't pay any attention to her. She doesn't understand. You're an expensive piece of protoplasm. We can't just have you out running around doing whatever your heart desires out in the wilds. You could get run over without me knowing.
Not a child. I'm a demon man.
No, you're not a demon man. Oh my God, Frankie, don't say that. Don't say that.
Phil, maybe demon's the wrong word.
Thank
Maybe
you.
you can think of it more as deranged monster.
That's not any better.
No,
You see,
see,
I did some research on the company that Jane works for, and it seems
I
that
knew it.
they've made a lot of mistakes in their recent acquisitions, and they've put something inside of you that really shouldn't be there. And our job is to sort of take it out on a run, if you will, exercise it out.
Okay, I have to say, your lack of anxiety, Dr. Stein, is giving me anxiety. Like, you're way too calm.
Exactly. And let me just say, we have made a lot of mistakes. She's absolutely correct. But that's the only way you can learn in science. You have to try, test a hypothesis, make a mistake, and try again.
Now,
the thing is, I didn't put the monster in him. I put love in him. I didn't make him the soldier he was supposed to be.
Jane, I think we need to take what you just said and apply it to yourself. You see, what you just told me is that everybody makes mistakes, and sometimes you have to try again. And what I'm telling you is, I think you've made a mistake in making Phil too.
Wait, can we go back a second? I feel like we ignored the part where you said soldier. What does that mean?
Well, of course, that's why you saw Clone Wars. Of course, you know that's why we want clones. But I didn't want clones for that. I wanted a clone to love. I wanted you to be the love clone. You
Now,
are.
Jane, Phil, if you excuse me, I'm going to move us into another session I like to have called private interviews. I'm going to need to talk to Jane alone for a moment.
Okay.
Phil, it'll be okay.
Jane,
Yes.
what have you done?
Let
me ask you something. Now, Phil 1, he died of health problems.
Yes.
And were those health problems naturally occurring, or were they brought on by you? Did you intend to make a new Phil because you had problems with the old Phil?
Just a bit.
How did you do it, Jane?
By splicing the C and the acetone. And if you must know, I got the idea when I was getting a tattoo. And the needle was injected in me, and I realized there was a certain way that you could insert the plasma right around the D level. And once you circled it around with tiny dots of steel potons, it was locked away. So when there was a behavior that I didn't like, I just blocked it away.
So you figured you could get away with murder as long as the person was alive again afterwards?
Phil 1 was going to die anyway. His cancer was terminal. Penelope the dog was actually a cancer sniffing dog and was able to alert me to the point at which the cancer was beyond remission.
Did you accelerate it because you had problems with Phil to begin with?
Don't you worry that I might accelerate something with you?
Is that a threat?
No, I just was curious if you did.
You don't scare me, Jane.
Well, you scare me a little bit.
Good. Let's bring Phil back in. Phil, come out of the waiting room.
Phil, honey, how are you doing?
Not well, Jane.
I can imagine, sweetheart.
How can you?
Yes, I can. This is a lot. This is a lot.
It is a lot. Frankly, I don't even feel like we're in couples therapy. This is like strange creator and clone creation therapy. Like I feel like I'm your weird slave creation thing.
Well, I know you feel that way because you're telling me you feel that way, but
Yeah.
I need you to know that I'm dying and I'm not going to be around. So I need you to be able to transition to love someone else with Dr. Frankenstein. I'm hoping that she's able to do that.
It's Frankenstein.
Is
I'm
that why
sorry.
Penelope has been sniffing you so much lately? Jane?
It is.
Hmm.
It is. And I need you to forgive me for what I have done to you. That is why I have finally told you, because you can't forgive me unless you know the truth. And that is a level of love that I need to teach you before I go.
Jane, tell him the truth.
Well, some of the irritating things you did. You know how sometimes when I would be talking and you'd continue to look at your app, or sometimes when I really, really wanted to go on a long walk and you were too tired. I just got rid of some of those things in you.
And so those things were worth murdering him for.
It wasn't murder, it was mercy. It was mercy. I gave you the ability to experience love beyond the grave.
Jane, since you and I had a private moment, would you allow me one with Phil, please?
I will.
Thank you.
I love you, Phil.
Phil, I'm going to be honest with you. Jane is terrible. Now, you may be a monster, but she's a real monster. I mean, she does terrible things, commits murder, and calls it mercy. Phil, I think I need your help. I need you to help me and help yourself and help the world by getting rid of Jane. You see, you are uniquely created by her company to be a perfect warrior.
Frankly, Dr. Stein, what you are asking right now is that, regardless of the fact that I am a clone, that is my wife in the other room. And
So you love her.
What?
So you love her. What is it that you love about her?
I just want to address the fact that she's dying, first of all, which you seem to be glossing over. And
Phil, have you realized she's dying and yet has the ability to make a clone of herself again after? Don't you believe that she will come back as a more dangerous Jane too?
I don't know, okay? Stop putting all this science stuff on me. I'm just learning my wife is dying, okay? And I want to process that. Can you understand that?
No, of course I can understand that, Phil.
Okay.
So process it. Process it out loud.
Well, as a preacher, I should be able to forgive her sins so that she can wind up in heaven and hopefully be with Phil 1. But as her second husband, frankly, I don't think I can forgive her. And those two parts of me are pulling at each other because I want her to be with the real Phil, but I don't want to forgive her.
Phil, what if there was a way to have her, the woman that you love, but better, without the creepy qualities? If you could pick and choose parts of this relationship that you would say tear away from her and put onto a new person, what would you do?
What are you talking about? Like what? Like,
well, Phil, you're given a good opportunity. If she's going to die, you can create another version of her that's better. Just as she did with you.
That's not for me to do. That's the Lord's work, Dr. Stein.
If the Lord created a world in which this is possible, then isn't it his work all around us anyways?
I never thought of it that way. So you're saying once she dies, I could clone her to make her the way I want her to be?
If she did it to you, why can't you do it to her?
That is a very good point.
I like to think relationships should be on an even level.
You could help me do that?
I am uniquely able to help.
Well, I do have some things I'd want to improve about her. Like, first of all, she works too much. I'd want her to be home more. Whenever I want to go to church, she says she has plans. And my app, like, frankly, she's just feigning interest at this point. I know that I've been developing it for 13 years, but it's going to come out any month now, and she has not been supporting me.
So the qualities in her that you would like to remove are the qualities which make her focus too much on work, prioritize that over relationships. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Maybe it's her heart that is suffering. Maybe we could alter her heart and make it kinder and nicer.
I don't know if that's how organs work, but you're the doctor.
Okay, let's bring Jane back and talk as a group. Jane, thank you for coming out of the waiting room.
I have a proposal I'd like to make. Phil, I was wondering if you would like a wife that was young, sort of a light brown, straight hair, much fuller lips than mine, much larger eyes than mine, much fairer skin. I could make that possible. I could make you the woman of your dreams for you to have until they discover you and put you down.
Jane?
Yes.
Do you know why I spent 4 months going to the same coffee shop every day, working on that app? It wasn't because I liked the cappuccino. Frankly, it was a little sour, like the way you're storing it. It was because I was in love with you. Every single day that you took my order, you were my perfect woman.
The first jingle of that bell that when you came through that door, it was like the breath was knocked out of me. It was as if you were lightning in a bottle, and the entire air of the coffee shop had been freshened, and the ozone was just like right after a storm.
I don't want you to die, Jane. I don't want some clone version of you. I just want you.
I know, Phil. That's how I felt. I couldn't see you suffer. I couldn't face lying in bed at night and reaching over to touch you and you wouldn't be there. I wanted to hear the way you sing in the shower in the morning. Silly show tunes. You know every word.
I'm really sorry you had to go through that.
And I'm so sorry you'll have to go through this. All I want for you is the greatest experience of love possible, because that's what you gave to me. And I didn't think it all the way through. The doctor's right. I made a mistake. I forgot you would have to go through loss to understand love.
Dr. Stein, I don't think I can go through with what we were talking about.
What was that?
Phil, if you love Jane as she is with all of her flaws, the many of them, then perhaps the cloning process can be done without altering anything. And instead, having her as she truly is, just a replica.
No, I don't want the clone, okay? It's just going to be a cycle. Okay, you're going to make a clone of her, and then I'm going to get brain cancer, and she's going to make a clone of me. It's never going to end. I want you, Jane, I want you to die. And I don't want you to die, but when you do, I want you to go up there. I want you to be with the real Phil. It's the two of you.
Oh my God. I never expected you to love me that much. That you would be willing to lose me rather than take a substitute.
Well, you just made a great creation then, so it's technically your fault.
Your app is your creation, and I'm sorry that I was so jealous of any moment without you that I didn't let you create your own. Please, darling, please do and go and make and create whatever you want, because you've done that for me. And that, well, I've never understood your God and your beliefs. But I do think that love is what you've offered me, even without my tinkering and trying to make you a more perfect person to love me.
So I take it we're not going to kill Jane and make a replica of her.
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
just so we're past that, I just wanted to clarify. Thank you.
Okay. This is really, I think we should get a different couples therapist, Jane. Frankly, Dr. Stein, I'm not really comfortable with your methods.
That's
say, Phil. Thanks.
Well, maybe you're not comfortable with my methods, but if you look now, are you comfortable with the results? Because it does seem as if you two have reconciled and are much happier.
I guess that is true.
I did.
I have found that unusual methods tend to work very well.
Was this all an act, or are you really just a weirdo?
I'm really a weirdo. Well, thank you so much. Moving forward, if you do decide to come see me again before Jane perishes, let's come up with some homework for you. Jane, I'd like you to stop being as controlling as you are and maybe show an interest in what Phil's doing. And don't work so late. And Phil, I'd like you to work on accessing the memories of Phil 1 and spend more time with your dog.
I think I can do that.
Okay. Well,
and do anything you want us to do.
Oh, it warms my heart to see this mangled, dead relationship patched and sewn back together into a living being. Nothing makes me more happy than to see that. Well, seems that we're all out of time tonight. Thank you so much for joining me in my Zoom fest. Have a good evening.
Ice cream, Phil. Let's go get
And that is our show, ladies and gentlemen. My goodness, as long as everybody is right here on screen, let's take a moment to take a great big bow for our audience. Ready, and 1, 2, 3. I thought that was an excellent show. My goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for spending a part of your Friday night with us. Let me remind you that Synergy Theater is here every Friday night at 7 o'clock p.m. and every Thursday night at 6 o'clock p.m. We have a brand new improvised show for you every week. Please come back. I must take a moment to let you know that tonight's show, Couples Therapy, was conceived and directed by Valerie Regalia, who played Dr. Frankie Stein for you tonight. So wherever you are, please stop and give an extra round of applause to Valerie. Valerie, what a brilliant show. Thank you so much for gifting it to Synergy Theater. And I hope the three of you are proud of yourselves. That was an awesome, awesome show. Ladies and gentlemen, Synergy Theater teaches online improv classes. If you think what you just saw was fun, it really is fun to do improv, and you can learn how to do it too. So please go to synergytheater.com, check out our classes. We have classes for every level from beginner right up to expert, and our master classes in how to improvise a full-length play. Also, Synergy Theater is a nonprofit arts organization. We are always dependent upon the generosity of our patrons to bring our programs out into the world, even more so now that the pandemic is really affecting our ability to earn our revenue, which allows us to make these shows for you. We will be here all the time on Thursdays and Fridays, bringing you free online entertainment, but it isn't free to us. It does cost something for us to do this, and we can use your help. So if you are comfortable and able to make a small donation to us, please go online to synergytheater.com, click on Support Synergy Theater. Your tax-deductible donation will go a very long way right now and be very meaningful to us. My friends, thank you so much for being here. Please come back. Please stay safe. We will see you soon. And always remember that Synergy Theater loves you. Good night, everybody.